Home Selling Series Step 1, deciding whether to sell your home and whether it makes sense. Most home selling guides start with pricing, staging, or marketing. That assumes the sale itself is already the right move. This series starts earlier. Before you price a home, before you call a real estate agent, and before you commit to selling, the first question is whether selling actually improves your financial position. That sounds obvious, but it's the step that most sellers miss. If you already own a home, buying and selling aren't separate processes. They're tied together. Selling isn't just getting out of a house, it's a reset of your finances, your risk, and your future flexibility. Once you sell, those choices are hard to unwind. Most people sell for one of three reasons: they've outgrown their house, they're relocating, or they're making what feels like the next step. The first two usually sound practical. The third usually feels practical. All three deserve a hard look before pricing ever enters the conversation. People talk about upsizing and downsizing like they're opposites. Financially, they're the same decision viewed from different life stages. You're trading what you have for a different housing solution and paying friction, transaction costs, to do it. If you've outgrown your home, it's often because the layout no longer works. Privacy may be tighter than it used to be. Storage is limited. Work or family needs may have changed. Before you sell, it's worth asking whether the problem is the house itself or the way the space is being used. In some cases, a reconfiguration or modest change solves the problem for less than selling and buying again, especially in a high rate environment. If you're thinking about downsizing, the motivation is usually maintenance, unused space, or a shift in priorities. Downsizing only works financially if the full monthly reality improves. Smaller square footage does not automatically mean lower costs once you factor in taxes, insurance, HOA dues, and the price per square foot premium many smaller homes carry. The most dangerous reason people sell is aspirational moving. A friend upgrades, a coworker moves into a different school district, someone posts the new keys photo. Suddenly, a house that worked yesterday feels like a mistake. Aspirational moving is lifestyle inflation dressed up as a housing decision. It often produces the opposite of what people expect. The housing improves, but life gets tighter. Vacations disappear, hobbies shrink, emergency savings get thinner. Stress replaces flexibility. That doesn't automatically make the move wrong, but it does mean fundamentals are non negotiable. This is also where selling and buying connect directly to the foundation of my buying series. Owning a home doesn't let you skip the basics. You're not starting over, you're stacking decisions on top of your existing financial reality. If your credit isn't strong or your utilization is climbing, a house change usually doesn't make sense. You're voluntarily increasing risk while borrowing at worse terms. If your cash flow is already tight, a more expensive home doesn't just change a payment, it shrinks your margin for error. If those fundamentals look solid, then yes, having a general conversation about rates and payment ranges with a lender may be reasonable. But if they aren't, selling and rebuying is often just a more complicated way to create financial pressure for yourself. Relocation is another area where people assume selling is automatic. It should not be. Is the move temporary or permanent? Have you ever lived in the area? Is it a meaningful raise after cost of living changes or a lateral move? Do you need to move the entire household immediately, or could you learn the area first? In many cases, the smartest move is for the relocating partner to rent modestly at first, learn the market, confirm the job fit, and preserve the existing home as a safety net. Selling too early turns uncertainty into permanence. There's one more reality most sellers don't want to hear, and it has to do with equity. Early equity is often not usable equity. I know numbers are hard to follow in this format, which is why the written guide walks through the math in detail. The takeaway is simple. In the first several years of home ownership, most of what you're paying goes toward interest, not principal. When you sell, transaction costs arrive all at once. Commissions, repairs, concessions, moving expenses, and escrow adjustments can erase what feels like meaningful progress on paper. This is why short horizon selling is risky. The equity you think you've built often converts into friction the moment you sell. Unless appreciation meaningfully exceeds the costs, the net result is frequently far less cash than most people expect. That's not a prediction, it's just how the math works. In the early years of homeownership, you're buying optionality, not building spendable wealth. Selling during that window often resets your finances instead of advancing them. That's why this step exists. It's designed to prevent a knee-jerk sell and rebuy cycle that replaces flexibility with obligation. If you're still deciding whether to sell, the next step is understanding what you would actually walk away with after real-world costs are applied. In home selling step 2, we'll calculate your true net proceeds, not online estimates, not neighbor stories, what you actually walk away with, and what it allows you to do next.